No, Rick and Morty didn't make it cool not to care. And I can't believe that this is something I still have to say. The idea that Rick and Morty uses story and nihilism as a way to espouse the idea that nothing ultimately matters is, I think, a fundamental misunderstanding of the show and its ideas. But still, in saying that, I do understand how people and fans could make the mistake, especially when Rick and Morty is a show that is so interested in cosmic horror and the unquantifiable enormity of existence and the multiverse.
Oh, this chocolate is delicious. What brand is this?
Okay, so this idea that it's cool not to care about stuff is something that I think has hung around the show ever since its first season. Early episodes of the show like Rick Potion No. 9 and Close Encounters of the Rick Kind, I think initially promoted this idea, with follow-up episodes like Edge of Tomorty, Rick Die and Repeat, cementing that idea afterwards. However, I think that in reality this just isn't the case, and really the whole idea stems from a misreading of the way that the show has framed and presented its ideas and themes.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Honestly, this whole misconception of the series I think is similar to something that a lot of people have also said about the show South Park, with really the line going that it's okay not to care because insert show here says X. However, here with Rick and Morty, making this idea actually work with the show means that you have to ignore various different aspects of the show, and especially the characters, both Rick and Morty individually. Unsurprisingly, Rick Sanchez is the show's character who ultimately embodies this idea. And even if he doesn't truly do so in the show, a lot of fans and commenters will chalk him up to being the one character who ultimately is responsible for this idea. As a lot of people and fans will ultimately chalk up his uncaring and dismissive attitude to a lot of different events as being the reason why it is so cool not to care. Rick as a character is often attributed to being nihilistic, apathetic, and masochistic. Now, to some extent, it's true. Rick is all of these things and more. However, the truth of it is really that Rick is pretending to be all of these things. Pretty much all throughout the show, we see Rick attempting to wear a mask to be all of these things. But still, that mask slips constantly, like in episodes such as Wedding Squanchers and A Wrinkle in Time, where in those episodes, we actually see Rick give himself up in order to save others or Morty. And yes, in some of these instances, he has tried to put the mask back on and claim that he has done what he's done in order to benefit himself. However, I do also think that it becomes quite clear to see what the show is actually trying to tell us in those episodes when you read the subtext of those episodes. And hell, if you don't believe me, well, in the episode Get Swifty, Rick even says that you shouldn't just pretend not to care about everything. And of course, he says it because he's already tried it.
Earth is just one of my many stops on a lifelong journey with no destination. So you better believe I don't care if it blows up, because I'll just be ice, floating through space, like a comet. Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
In fact, if Rick didn't actually care as much as he pretends, we as fans wouldn't have some of Rick's best moments. Moments like him killing the Jelly Bean Man in the episode Me Seeks and Destroy, as well as him putting up Morty's picture outside the hole in the episode Fear No Mort. Of course, everything Rick does in terms of his apathy is just an act. And this, of course, is largely due to his own crybaby backstory.
You wanna jump the shark? You wanna know my stupid crybaby backstory? Knock yourself out. Not now!
Over the show's run, it has been revealed that our Rick, C-137, is the second of only two Ricks to actually invent portal travel. The only other Rick to actually invent portal travel was Rick Prime, who eventually met C-137 and was pretty disappointed by their meeting, to say the least. C-137 was offered the multiverse and he turned it down, choosing to instead focus on his family, which Rick Prime then swiftly took from him in one move, as Rick Prime used the device Too Cool for a name to wipe Diane from existence in every universe, which of course left C-137 feeling pretty broken down and defeated. So really, Rick does care, but he has been so beaten down by his grief and pain from the loss of his family, as well as his own inability to find the person responsible, with that person being himself.
Know what wubba lubba dub dub means?
That's just Rick's stupid nonsense catchphrase.
It's not nonsense at all. In my people's tongue, it means, I am in great pain. Please help me.
Okay, so Rick cares, but why does he wear this mask and pretend not to care? Well, it's because someone told him to, with that being the Rickest Rick, the guy who truly doesn't care, and because of that, isn't hurt when someone dies.
You brought 2 Mortys with you? What, they're your cheering section?
We brought ourselves, asshole.
Okay, so Rick cares but is pretending not to. So what's going on with Morty? Well, he also cares, but the difference is that he's not pretending he doesn't. So why is he here in this video? Well, he engages with the idea in a different way. Where Rick is using his apathy to cope with the loss of his family and his feelings of inadequacy, Rick is also attempting to force that idea on Morty to convince him that his failings are his own fault. Okay, I get what you're asking. Why is he doing that? Well, I think that we can largely see why with their adventures, where Rick is treating Morty more as a miniature version of himself. Maybe because of what he says in the episode Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, where he says that a Morty getting big ideas is a problem for everyone. But more likely what I think it is just what's hinted at in future episodes, where it's established that Rick is proud of Morty, but still wanting to teach him something. Honestly, I think that the best demonstration of this comes from the episode The Rick, the Mort and the Ugly, where Rick sacrifices himself to let the clone Mortys he's created escape to make new memories. And of course, outside of that demonstrator, I think that there could be only 2 other possibilities for why he does this. The first is that he just enjoys spending time with his grandson, and of course, the other would have to be that because Morty's brainwaves hide his own brainwaves, as established in the episode Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind. So no, Rick and Morty didn't make it cool not to care. Rick and Morty made it cool to enjoy Rick and Morty. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Please, if you agreed with this video and like Rick and Morty, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And please don't be afraid to let me know whether or not you're hyped for the new upcoming season. Until then, don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.